Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Shanna. Welcome to my channel. Not a blue ribbon quilter. My focus is on keeping people warm. I want to make a quilt that's sturdy and warm as quickly as possible. Another thing that I like to do is be creative and frugal. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, is using what we have, what's readily available in our stash. Scraps. Oh, good heavens. Scraps are a mixed blessing. I get so many that I become overwhelmed and I just cease to function. So what I have taken to doing, there is a thrift store that I donate to regularly, and in their community they have some young sewists that have managed to scrape up a sewing machine, but they have little or no funds for materials and fabric. So I have been bagging my fabrics into 1-gallon Ziploc bags, and I've been donating them, and that makes me feel good. It's providing, for a need, but at the same time, it helps me because it gets it out of my way. But there are some scraps that are well worth keeping. Now, let me show you what I did. I created this piece of fabric. It is fused onto heat and bond. Each one of these scraps was a heat and bond scrap. So it's double stuck, if you will. And what I intend to do is take one of my cats, one of my butterflies, or my birds, put my template back here and draw it off, and then cut it out. And then I'll put it, for example, on a denim bag, and then stitch it down, and then finish the bag. Here's an example of how I'm going to do this. I'll stitch this little bird's outline all the way around, and then try to stitch, the individual pieces that are stuck on there. This is real interesting. I'm going to show you how I got the tree limb. Back to not throwing anything away. I was blessed to get a charm pack, these 5-inch squares, out of these beautiful batiks. And so when I positioned my kitty on here, I've got this great big piece left over here. Well, that's what I took out of the tub and started cutting my tree limbs with. And it was just perfect. I didn't have to, use a whole piece of yardage to come up with the little bitty scraps for my tree limbs. So, yay for that. But when I cut out the butterflies and the birds, I try to save anything that I think I might be able to use. So, there's that. Now, y'all know I have an AccuQuilt, and I realize that AccuQuilt is way out of most people's budget. It was definitely out of mine. I would never have been able to spend the money for an AccuQuilt, but it was a gift from a very dear friend, and I thank God for it every day. But having used the AccuQuilt to cut out a bunch of butterflies in a quilt that I did, and if you just surf down my post, you'll see that butterfly quilt that I made. But here's some of the scraps from cutting out those butterflies, and man, there's a lot of good usable fabric there that's already got the heat and bond on it. It's ready to go. So that's what I did when I made this piece of fabric. I took all of my I just dug in that box that I have labeled Heat and Bond scraps. And I looked up on the shelf a while ago and I saw it. And I've been scrounging out of a little bitty tub that I had. And I totally forgot about this. I looked up on the shelf, saw it, and drug it out. And holy moly, I've got a treasure trove there. So what I've been doing is cutting the bigger shapes out. And then I just position them. I layer them, little points sticking up on top of other stuff. I'll fill underneath. Then I use parchment paper. And once I've got everything where I think I want it, then I put the parchment paper over and just set the iron on it for 6 seconds. And just a refresher, how you can count your seconds when you're pressing is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. There's 6 seconds. And that way you don't melt your adhesive to the point where it disappears. And so I'm so thrilled that I remembered this box was up there, because that's a lot of work and fabric right there that is readily available. Now, when it comes time to throw things away, this right here is what I've got left from making this. And yeah, this will go in the trash. Maybe not this one. But you see what I'm saying? They're just really too small to keep or work with. So these will go in the trash. And even my pieces of Heat and Bond, I've got small pieces here that I can do the same way and cut out smaller appliques, or I can even, put them together, put strips together, and say, for example, I could take these pieces, if I could get my hands to work, I could put these together like this and simply lay a piece of fabric over both of those pieces and iron it down and make a bigger piece. So the possibilities of preserving and using the scraps of Heat and Bond are virtually endless. So there's that. So I do encourage you, if you wind up with a lot of scraps, to donate them, because especially if you put them in a Ziploc bag and just label them like I do, I just say on the label 1 pound, 100% cotton, 2.5 inches to 6 inches, for example. And so then the entity to whom you are donating knows what they've got. They know how to price it accordingly. And they have the one store that I donate to, it's a Council of Churches thrift store. And they have an area that they have devoted to craft supplies, which is just wonderful. And the Attic in Fayetteville, I love what they do. They have I think it's like 6 or 7 foot tall shelf section that's just fabric. And there is everything in there. But I have found pre-quilts, I have found rayon. There's, just keep looking. Listen, y'all, fabric is everywhere. It is everywhere. So keep your eyes open. Think outside the box. Look in obtuse places for fabric and sewing supplies, because they are out there. And when your scraps get to be too much of a burden, by all means donate them, because there is some precious soul out there that is needing an inexpensive alternative to a quilt shop or, Walmart or whatever. Even Walmart can be expensive. But this is how I do my cats, and I make sure my tails, one goes one way, one goes the other way. And these charm packs, I'm gonna tell you, y'all know I am cheap to the bone. I bought 3 or 4 Robert Kaufman charm packs from Missouri Star for $6 each. It's the only way I would have been able to afford them. One thing that I do appreciate about Missouri Star is their free shipping over $59. And they also have what they call a bundle thing, where if today this charm pack is $6, I can pay for it and put it in my bundle. And I have 7 days to gather up sale items to put in that bundle for the free shipping. I'm not able to do that very often, but when I'm able to do that, when I know my Social Security payday is coming, then that's what I do. I'll do a bundle and get as many goodies as I can. Sometimes they limit how many charm packs you can get, and then again, sometimes they don't. So you just have to look and see what they've got. But this is just a way for me to create fabric, express myself, be creative, do the letting play morph into skill that I just absolutely love. So I just wanted to share that with y'all and encourage you to use your scraps. Since Joanne is gone, I have found that Walmart online, if you're going to do a pickup order, you can search Heat and Bond Lite, and you got to watch them. Sorry, but you do. You got to watch them. I got, let's see, I got 5-yard packages. The package had 5 yards of 17-inch wide Heat and Bond for $8.47, or you could get a 3-pack for $25.41. I got it with my grocery order, so the $35 minimum applied. It was free shipping, and so I didn't have to pay anything extra. So keep that in mind. Walmart is a good resource for things like Heat and Bond and Pellon. So just trying to give y'all some news you can use. Please pray for Jamaica. If there's any way that you can help, please help. The beloveds there are in a terrible situation. So we love y'all to pieces. Y'all take care, and we will talk to you later.